Hello, I hope you are doing great. Today we are going to see a small sample of how to use LinkedIn or how to add LinkedIn shared buttons to your Blazor applications. Okay, so you know that if you want going to, or if you have ever used the shared buttons from LinkedIn, you know that they are script based. Basically, you add the scripts to import the LinkedIn platform script, and then the other script is basically the one which generates the button and adds the functionality to share the URL that you specify in the data URL. Now, if you know Blazor, you will know that if you put that code in the page, you will get this error. Blazor actually disallows to have scripts elements uh, inside the components. So what can we do? Well, I've seen some examples when what they do is basically do some workarounds, importing the scripts in the header and then moving the generated button with JavaScript around the DOM where they actually need the buttons. Um, there is another way that it's useful. That is the one we are going to see. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you are notified when there are new videos uploaded to the channel. Share the videos, like them so the community keeps growing, and let us know in the comments things you would like to know about .NET Core, Azure, and Unity 3D. Okay, so how do we solve this issue? There is a way. If we are going, we can actually create a component, and in this case I have this component library where I have this shared button which only has this render button call, and you will see that in my index tracer basically what I do is I put share button which is from this namespace which comes from the other library, and it has some attributes that we can specify. So this one I actually went for choosing like the first time the platform script is added, you should use set this to true, and then to the others you never use that one, that's initializing false, basically so that this first script is never rendered again, because that's the platform script that only that requires to be only one in the page. This one, however, needs to be as many times as buttons you need to have on your page. Okay, uh, so what's the magic behind it? So basically, the magic is what we saw in here, is the call to render button, which is defined in the .cs, in the code behind for this page. And you will see that here we have, well, we have the parameters for the add platform script, parameter for the URL. By default, it's set to LinkedIn. And you will see that here in the render button method, which is the one which is called from the Razor file, it has something named render fragment. The render fragment basically can also be used or cannot be used to generate dynamic elements in the HTML. So you see that here we are actually generating the form, well, yeah, next set of HTML tags. We set what it's going to do. So basically, when we call to render button, we return a render fragment, which is going to have all of this logic. So if the add platform script is true, we open the element. Basically, this creates the script element. Then to that script element, we add the source attribute, and we set the platform. Then we add a type attribute, and in this case we add text JavaScript, and then we close the element, so it closes the script tag. Now if we continue, we open another element which is going to be the other script. We add the attribute for the data URL. In this case we are going to pass as value the URL to share, which is either the default LinkedIn URL or the value specified by the parameter when you specify the attribute in the use of the component. Then we add the type. In this case we add in/share because that's actually this type that's being used by the LinkedIn script. And then we close the element, and that's basically it. So now basically what you just do is import the namespace or use the whole qualified type directly and add the attributes you need, and that's basically it. Now I have seen some concerns about the use, this kind of use, so I'm not really sure if this is actually the best way to solve the issue or if it is recommended. Um, there are actually some people mentioning that the render fragment used like this is kind of a very low level approach, and that it may be more suited to the framework usage, but actually render fragment is also a recommended way to use when you need to allow child content um, in your pages or views or components. So yeah, I'm not really sure what will be the best option, but certainly this is the easiest and the cleanest solution I have found so far to do this kind of things, because if you see the code, it ends up really clean without a lot of external dependencies such as JavaScript interrupt or things like that. So pretty much this is all Blazor generating the scripts and then allowing the browser to do its job. So I hope this video has been useful. Thank you very much. Let me know what you like. If you know this is actually the best way to do it, or if there are better ways, also let us know in the comments. And have a great day. Thank you very much.